Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to F.E.A.R. So, let's see, I guess I have to use the mouse to resume here. I just looked at the video. The gamma is dark. Like, we could fiddle around with it and turn it up a little bit more, but I actually think it is in a pretty good spot. I also did some research, and it does seem like this game came out like a month before Condemned Criminal Origin came out, which tells me that more than likely they were parallel developed games, and the good content ended up in Condemned Criminal Origin, and this ended up here. Now, there's been some history in the past, and I'm not throwing any aspersions that this actually happened, but there have been times where development companies have been paid by publishers to develop one game, and then they've gone off and spent some of that, what they've learned from the development of that one game, or some of the money from that was supposed to be used for the development of one game, and they've instead used it for the development of a different game that the publisher doesn't have the rights to. This does seem like that could be a case. I have to remind myself which button is to use. Some creepy black screens here for the monitors and lights flickering. And I mean, I can't even use the health packs. We've got so many of these. So I think the two games, it's a shame I'm doing this as a second Halloween event instead of doing this as a series, because it's going to be hard for me to justify going for 3 extra months on top of October, covering F.E.A.R 1 and then Condemned Criminal Origin and then F.E.A.R 2, which I imagine will be a lot better than F.E.A.R 1 because they'll have the success of Condemned behind them. Now, it's weird. Interesting. She's afraid of me. It is, I think, worth pointing out that success looks different for a horror game, in my opinion, than it would for other kinds of video games. You're not really going to... Interesting. This just kind of is a stairs that just leads to nothing. And it looks like you could probably walk to the edge here and sink down further, but you're not. So either, like, yeah, you have to crouch down and then look under the water, otherwise you see just reflections, like a pure reflection of the ceiling. So when I was looking over here and it looked like there was a stairway touching the wall, I'm actually looking at that. The reflection's too good. Yeah, I think this is... Well, if that's a checkpoint, then how can we have 2 different ways that go in 2 different directions? This game's levels have never been that open. And I don't think I'm going in circles. I see a guy somewhere over there. There's a guy. There's a guy somewhere over here. think there's something over there. We're running into a lot of trouble where people take me on and then they're so far away and there's just... Let's see, let's just throw a grenade that way. I should take out like 2 or 3 of them. I guess if you're shooting people and they already know you're here, there's no point to not use the flashlight. You're in a weird position here, where Alma is not really playing a role. So I wonder if she is just a spooky ghost with no real effect. Now he's saying squad check in, and there's not, I think, much left of them. So that's interesting because he's casting a shadow on the wall behind him below a level. So we've got a little bit of a visual glitch there that's playing a factor. And these all feel like they would have been monster closets or something, but there's no monsters in this game. Feels like there probably should be. Yeah. One of the things I think Condemned Criminal Origin did way better than this is doing is let's go ahead and pick that, use the health and pick up a new health. Is you really had no consistent enemies. In fact, I'm not sure in the game at all if you're really fighting or shooting anything for the entirety of the game.
You have one new message. Hey man, I heard something crazy is happening over there. You alright? Let me know. We're still on for Friday, right? Call me back, bro. I hope you're alright. End of message.
Yeah, you can see there's a lot of lines of dialogue here written by characters that don't seem to matter. So I'm just gonna have to go somewhere and try and figure out how all this is gonna work. See, that's another checkpoint. So what did I miss? Let's see, let's jump over here. And really wish I had a toggle run button enabled, but I'm totally out of buttons. And I can't imagine that something else would be more useful. So you hit a save point when you go over here. And this is just like a totally different path. I wonder if this path ends up in the same place or not. More armor. It's not bad. But here's what a game like this can't do. A nearly 15-year-old first-person military shooter cannot convince me to want to play this a second time with just twice as many level paths. Yeah. It seems to me like that path really does just end you in the same place as before, yeah. So it was a branching path that led really nowhere. In the end, you still end up having to go here and picking up that gun. And here's another outside section. The story is going to play differently, it seems, from now on. So I just have to wait until I'm out of bullets. Alright, let's throw a grenade that way. So I'm back to an automatic gun. I am a pretty terrible shot, I will fully admit. I can't really blame too much of that on the game. There probably is a lack of auto-aiming that would happen in a more modern game. The dirty little secret in playing games that are designed for controller is that they do tend to kind of auto-snap characters, auto-snap your reticle onto people so that you're these guys' bulletproof vests are kind of useless, by the way. So yeah, I would say some of this is a lot of it's me, but some of it may be features you would have in a normal, more made for console game. This actually did come out for PC, it seems, first. So I don't know if that really means much, but sound effect changed on me. That was a little disconcerting. Yeah, and I think at this point we cleared out the area. We've got a little bit of music playing in the background. It seems to me there's a high chance the rest of the game is played like this, in this same environment. At least this DLC extraction point part is played this way. Maybe what we'll run into is after this DLC is played out, we'll have a different area. It would kind of make sense if this whole section was just play until a special run of levels until you get to the extraction point. There's a guy down there, but I don't know even the best way to hit him, but how about that? So apparently the grenade it bounced away They seem to kind of have some patterns. I am just unloading bullets on nothing. This gun is way too fast. And headshots seem like they still matter. It would be a hard challenge to figure out. It would be kind of a hard challenge to figure out if my health is too low. There we go. Well, we'll use the health kit. Good thing I looked down at it. I can see myself not paying attention to it since it's not really played a role. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything militaristically in this that is being added compared to the level of military first-person shooter games that came before this. So having them be able to detect when a flashlight is shining, having them say statements that mention how many people are down or how many of our friends have been knocked down. Those probably, very possibly, are groundbreaking things, or at least new things, for when this game came out, but that they're kind of nothing to me, and that modern age, they're just kind of things you would either expect or not miss if you didn't have them. Is there any way to get up to this platform? So I'm seeing a lot of platforms, but they might just be kind of no platforms. Or no way up in a reasonable effort. I imagine somebody could jump on the ledge of this and jump up there. But I don't feel like there's a significant amount of possible collectibles. It could be up here. Yeah, see, I can get up here. But then it would just be the next step to figure out how to get higher. So if these were just zombies that were attacking us, wouldn't that make more sense? More Japanese ghoul like spirits, or a hybrid between military men and Japanese ghouls and spirits, making this more of a Japanese game. That might be a concept to go with. Let's see. So they want me to fall down there. So almost certainly there's something spooky down here. Nope. Either that or I failed to trigger it. It seems like it likes to turn off my flashlight quite a bit. I don't think there's a ledge here I could get on. I don't think they want me to run and jump either. I don't think it's that kind of game.
According to police, an explosion that leveled a dockside warehouse this evening was most likely the result of an industrial accident. No injuries have been reported, but emergency workers are still on the scene.
So that's how they're classifying what's going on right now. And I'm just getting more and more armor, more and more bullets. Can't do anything other than shoot it. So it feels like we're going to... Oh, you can get up here. Yeah, it feels like we're going to get to a point where there's an extraction point. And then... that's that. Probably we have to fight Fenton Paxtol first. Or Paxtol Fenton, whatever his name is. I have no idea what this did. Certified operators only. Did it drain water into that area? Guess we'll just follow this pipe back. That's kind of weird. I guess maybe what it's gonna do is flood this area. Okay. I see. I see. A little bit of a puzzle. They're trying to do something cool. I can't blame them for that. But honestly, this is just feels like a pale comparison to Condemned Criminal Origin, and then almost certainly I'll play Condemned Criminal Origin and then realize that that game's not that good either. So I shot one guy. Let's see how that works. This is interesting because the grenades do show something that you just absolutely need to have in a first-person shooter, which is you need to have people scream if they are hit with a grenade. Some kind of audio feedback. That way you know whether you got at least one person, if not two or three. Or some of these other lines of dialogue, like suppressive fire, only makes sense if you know what suppressive fire means, and which usually means that they're shooting so that somebody else can move. But they kind of talk in the military jargon, I think, even if there isn't anybody else around. So, yeah. It's questionable whether you're actually able to take any actionable information out of that. Let's see, do we want to take a shotgun? Yes. Of course, probably should. Seems like it's keeping my handguns. Yeah. So it seems like you're forced to keep the handguns, even if you don't have bullets. Is this another direction? We've got too many split paths. Feels like way too many split paths, particularly considering how they just merge back together. I would not really applaud the level designer of this game. They really aren't doing much. Let me pick this up. So So I'm going to immediately pick up a faster gun, and then now we have proximity mines, which will collect those and never use, I'm sure. Because it's too many buttons. That's the way we came. If you were to compare this to Borderlands 1, which probably isn't a fair comparison by any means, because that game, I'm sure, is much more modern. This is actually a scene from the video that plays in the main game, where they knock over this section. But I would say it's interesting to look at like the number of encounters in Borderlands 1, which was probably in the thousands if not millions, and compare it to this game, where the number of encounters are rather limited. Each level is getting maybe a dozen, but just 3 people in an area. Now, in all fairness, this probably was them testing out brand new technology to give some kind of artificial intelligence programming to these characters so that they could find their own way, know where the enemy is, if they should know where the enemy is, and attack and kill me as the enemy. So, there's totally reasons that there would be a lot less encounters. That seemed very scripted. Let's see. Seems like he was stuck in one place so that he would fall, and fall specifically down this hole. And then let's just jump over that. So I'm gonna see, we have a new guy. And with the new guy, we've got a heavily armored character. I actually used the slowdown for a moment there. So a better gun. So why aren't everybody heavily armored? I don't know. Maybe they just couldn't afford it all. And then I shot this. And I feel like that was pretty scripted too, obviously. Obviously this whole thing is scripted. But it feels like we should be at the end of this level pretty soon. And maybe there'll be one more level. Either that or we're just gonna stupidly cross the door and into Fenton Paxtell. Which...
Shit, looks like these fuckers are pulling out. I'm seeing a substantial mobilization on the satellite.
I'm not supposed to turn that valve. Grab some more body armor. We had almost a death sequence there, which would have been a pain because there really hasn't been that much as far as... Can I get out of here by jumping? Nope. So I have to crouch back down and walk all the way around. No easy escape from a secret area, which would have been a nice little quality of life addition. Of course, if we run into Alma again and she's just making fire, all around me and attacking me, what do? Just run again? That's probably the right move. Of course, the game gets pretty boring if you just run from Alma the whole time. She almost feels like she's a secondary character. Yeah, this is probably the absolute wrong gun to use. I'm just gonna use all the bullets and then determine that I made a mistake. Okay, we got some fire. Alright, so how do we want to do this? Jump in the water or get burned to death? I think we're better jumping in the water. We can just look around. And that's a weird saving checkpoint. Yeah, I don't know why they're not building up Fenton Paxtel as the main bad guy. Feels like maybe there was more gameplay or something else. Let's see, am I supposed to hit this door or am I supposed to go over here? This feels like this would be where they'd want you to go. It does seem like they also kind of didn't have a clue as to whether they wanted you to whether they wanted you to specifically swim deep when you're in the water or just always stay on the surface. So they programmed a deeper water swimming section than it seems like they needed. It feels like this is just gonna take me in all kinds of different directions. I really just don't have time to goof around. There's a spooky ghost. Alright. So I don't know how we get to that point and also end up going down this way. So almost feels like this door seems like this door was nothing. Or it's just another health thing. We came I guess maybe this is just some extra collectibles. But it's not like you're getting a score for getting all the collectibles or all the health and armor upgrades. You're just kind of beefing yourself up if you need it. And it doesn't hurt, even on easy, frankly. Yeah, I don't know if we're ever gonna really have to swim through a large amount of water. Doesn't seem like it would be particularly entertaining unless they decide to put us in some clear water and not filthy brown greenish water. And the writing here is so obvious that you will play for almost just ever so slightly over 30 minutes and then you'll get a cutscene.
Where is Alma?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Some secrets get buried deeper than others. wrong guy! Hush now, Mr. Moody. The time for talk is done.
This effect makes the 3D models look horrible. So he's looking for Alma, which her actual body might be anywhere. I guess that is a possibility. Right. And she may just be reaching out mentally. I would totally switch it again if I could. And you do end up playing this game in a very different way than intended. So there she is, crawling creepily to you. She seems to have a pretty fine connection, though, to... That's not one you shoot. To make herself appear. Anyway, I guess I could have hit it. And look, they've even got some physics happening. Okay, so Intervale 3 escalation is still going on, but we're now going to section Bad Water. Replica forces appear to be withdrawing from the South River wastewater treatment plant. Paxton Fettel has not been secured. SFOD has entered the Americam headquarters. Initial resistance lighter than expected. Primary objective remains eliminate Paxton Fettel, which seems like this is what we're going to do each time. Let's go ahead and just start here. And that's how we're going to end each episode going forward. We'll read it because of the way the shortcuts happen. Probably wouldn't be a terrible idea. Also, just to make a save game. Just in case. That way, in case something happens, we have the autosave and the quick save, or the save file. Yeah. It's a really weird experience. This is almost like going to what I imagine going to Africa and being served a feast would be from a remote tribe that doesn't have any food. They would be giving you as much as they can, and you would try to be as gracious and generous about that, but in reality they'd be giving you tiny small bites of food that you probably don't really recognize or see as very delicious. I'm getting very tiny bites of conflicts, very tiny bites of scary stuff, and a lot of repeated hallways, a lot of collecting health packs, a lot of getting armor, a lot of picking up bullets, guns that run out of bullets very fast. Particularly since I'm playing on easy, it is all the enemies are still very much bullet sponges. And I know they're armored and such, but sometimes it feels like I'm hitting people in the head, and it still takes 3 or 4 bullets. The minimum requirement to shoot somebody in the head in any game should be 1 bullet. That just makes sense. And if you're hitting somebody in the chest, maybe you go 3, 4, 5 bullets, something along that way. You don't have a clip of 25 bullets and then spend 12 of them to kill somebody. This new gun we've gotten is more powerful, but unless it uses the same bullets as all the guns that I see going forward, I'm probably very quickly going to run out of bullets, and then we'll just be back to where we were. This is the first time we've used the slow down time mechanic. It didn't really slow time down that much or really change anything. Ironically, Quantum Break came out probably a decade plus after this game and had a time slow down mechanic, and it still didn't really play that well or wasn't that interesting. I think Quantum Break might be a great comparison to this game as a first person shooter with some supernatural elements that really didn't stand up to the test of time. Quantum Break wasn't very good or well received even when it came out. Whereas I think the F.E.A.R series was at least well enough received that people were telling me I should play it, and they made 2 more sequels and a bunch of DLC. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.